Hello, everyone. My name is Aldridge. This is Zerek Welz. We are currently in Waco, Texas for the United States Ballooning 2026 training camp. We are currently in the laundry room between activities, and we're going to talk about the task string from this morning. Now, it's very convenient because Zerek here, to my left, is a pilot, but he also was involved in creating the task sheet this morning. So he's going to walk through the process and kind of the mindset that they had when they were making it. So if you will look right here, and maybe even pause, this is the task data sheet from this morning. We had a hesitation waltz. There was a maximum distance task. There was a judge declared that was also part of the maximum distance task, and then another judge declared.
Yes.
And this is what it looks like on a map, all plotted, ready to go for the morning. And now, Zerek, take it away.
So we didn't have a ton of steerage to work with this morning. We had launched a patty cake, which is a Winton device. Launch it with a pie ball, and it gives us some wind directions. Mm-hmm. We had a 355 and a 5. So there was more steerage, but we knew that there was going to be scud layers that we probably weren't going to be able to go into, so that we couldn't really utilize those.
Okay.
So not a ton of steerage for us to play with, and we were really trying to get people to either the camp here or to the airport. Those would both be initially we were looking at them for target locations just because they're nice target locations and potentially also landing spots for us to end at. But the lines weren't really working to do both of those things, so we ended up we had picked a CLA or a common launch area for all of us to go to and launch from, and we were trying to sort of just set up things along that within this cone of stuff that we thought we could do. So we had put the hesitation waltz. I think actually we sort of figured out where the judge declared goals were going to go first.
Okay.
Because we were kind of trying to base everything off of initially the hard targets, and then we'd fill in after that point.
It was a little unique because the only actual physical hard targets were the two judge declareds at the end.
Yes.
And then it was really unique. Y'all did the hesitation waltz. Normally people will make it kind of in a cone or a line that goes perpendicular to the wind line just in case it goes kind of wonky. But y'all actually made it south to north, like straight, like almost straight up.
Yeah, and I think that was we were just trying to make it so for sure someone would maybe go through one of those.
Okay.
And I think at that point we weren't really thinking that it was going to shift too much one way out of there. So
it was a pretty stout wind line.
Yes. That's not what ended up happening. I think it ended up going to like a 320 or whatever. So maybe that would have worked better. But I think at that point if we were going to do anything, we probably would have had to sort of scrap this and just do like one target or something. So everything was really we were really focused on the hard targets and sort of trying to work around where we could put those and then filling in any electronic tasks around that.
Okay.
So the hesitation waltz, we had sort of played around with different ideas of like east-west line, north-south line. Initially that was also a PDG, and I think we just sort of made it a Hez waltz just to simplify things because we're also running into some technical issues with Watch Me Fly where it wasn't saving tasks for us, and so that sort of caused, we were just trying to make things easy on us.
Yeah.
And then the second task was the maximum distance. So goal would have been to push your logger as close to that point as possible.
Yes.
This was your reference point, so it was however far you could get from that, the furthest you could get from that point. So this would be your sort of last opportunity to get a score in that area.
So something I'll point out, so the maximum distance, you actually set 3 different points in this triangle right here, there, and there. So the best point would have been the southernmost one, obviously, because you're trying to make the maximum distance. But it's a little different because, and we were talking about this afterwards, that most of the time, when you're doing a max distance, balloon meisters will call a maximum distance double drop. So it'll kind of be maybe at this target and this target, and then you're thinking about that when you go into both. But this one, you actually did the max distance, which I had to look at the rule book because I haven't really run into those.
Right.
Because you're actually given 3 separate scoring areas right here that are like 100 meters, right? Whatever they were, I can't remember.
It's really just a triangle that ends up being the scoring area.
Okay.
So you're just creating a polygon. So
Okay.
like we could have made that a square or
Okay.
a radius or whatever.
Okay.
Any of those.
So, but the best score is going to be right here.
Yes.
Okay.
In the past, I've called a task before where I made the reference point a previous mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a fly on that I had them call. So they had to make their mark, but then I think for that I actually did a minimum distance, but it's pretty much the same. So they had to make that fly on mark, and then basically stay as close to that area as they could.
Interesting.
So it wasn't necessarily if they declared this one, so that's their declared spot, but they made the mark here.
Mm-hmm.
They were still trying to stay as close as possible to the mark, not the declaration point.
Okay.
So it was like I'm going to stay here and float for 10 minutes or whatever. That was in Albuquerque, though, not here.
Okay. Where that happened in Albuquerque.
Yep. So had that, and then this was just going to be, so we had the 2 hard target locations, and then that sort of still left the line as a possibility for us to land either at the camp or at the airport.
Okay.
And depending on however winds
Yeah.
may have shifted throughout the flight.
Because over the north, it's pretty good landing areas, but the goal was always basically the airport because it's so big and it's kind of that safe spot. So when it's because I was there last night when we're starting to talk about it, right?
Yep.
Just kind of brainstorming. I think the idea from the start was the CLA because of how many people there are and kind of the general area and the obstacles like the towers and the wind. We knew the speed was going to be a possible issue. Speed wasn't a problem. It was
Really the scud.
It was the scud, but and then in the airport is basically you wanted to find your wind line and then what would match with the airport, or at least this general area, because
Yes.
the airport's kind of next to the camp. So just that bubble is the goal.
I mean, it's good landing areas, and then it also just really allowed, we knew that we had access.
Yeah.
And then even if you missed those because things didn't work out, there's still a ton of stuff up here.
A lot of
that you
farmland and everything.
there was still a lot of options to go land
Yeah.
in.
Okay. Cool. All right, man. Well, we didn't fly because there was a pretty gnarly scud layer that came in, as seen in this picture. I took a picture, obviously.
Oh.
Very good decision by the
Very
event
tall
officials.
towers.
Very tall towers that were disappearing. Gone.
See, there's the picture.
Yeah. So yes, this was a simple but would have been very fun task string, I think.
Yeah.
Was good.
Straightforward.
Yeah. What do you have in store for us tomorrow?
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Oh, dang it. We'll talk about it after.
Yep. To be continued.
To be continued. Thank you, everybody. I'm Blake Aldridge.
I'm Zerek Welz.
Thank you for watching.
Do you hear buzzing or whining?
I'm not the camera. Don't look at me. Look at the camera.
Practice event, I guess you could call it. I can hear the laundry machine going on.
I'm just gonna close.
What?
That's all you get.
There's less people here than there should be, but anyways, we're here. We're having fun.
I feel like you should start over.
I'm starting over. An actual event.
USA Ballooning Training Camp.
We are here for the USA